Hello everybody, today I have the pleasure to propose to you this key number 11 entitled Reconnection to the YOUniverse. Well, what about this notion of reconnection? Actually, as I explained already in different other videos, this is not a connection, it is a reconnection because this is our original part, where we are coming from. Actually, we are supposed to come from the unity, the great whole, and so on, and we extract from it to incarnate in the matter, in the density, in the low frequencies, to be perceptible to our senses. Okay, so this is exactly the analogy I use with the painting, the painter, which is the divinity, the great whole, the source, whatever the name, okay, the living. Concretely, it is, he is, she is, whatever one is the painting, the painter, and the different landscape and characters. So basically, we are a part of it. We embody one character. But if you are the character on the painting, you cannot see yourself. So to see the big picture, to see yourself, to analyze yourself, to experience, let's say, the existence, you need to extract and to separate from it. It's a matter of fact. So, and by the way, we can find this, the answer, the subtle answer in the etymology of existence. Existence, to exist from Latin, means literally to separate, to fragment. Okay. So here we are. That's why it is a recognition. So reconnection is also different from what we will see after the, let's say, fake or illusionary hyperconnection. That's our modern world, technology, and so on, society propose to us, which are kind of substitutes, which are artificial. Well, what do we think about and what do we say regarding the notion of connection, reconnection? I'm gonna quote Elif Shafak, that I appreciate a lot. She is a French-Turkish writer and philosopher, and she said the following: no matter who we are, where we live, deep inside, we all feel incomplete. It's like if we had lost something and experiencing the need to find it back. What is this something? Most of us will never know, and among those who succeed, even rarer are those who go on this quest. Well, the most important thing about this quote is the following. I scroll rapidly. It's deep inside, we all feel incomplete. It's like if we had lost something and experiencing the need to find it back. We all feel incomplete because we lost something and we experiencing the need to find it back. So what is the real existential thing for me is to try to define, because it's up to you, to any individual, to find what is this something. And it's a kind of quest of sense, it's a quest of meaning of life, and so on, is a matter of fact. A lot of people put under this love, which can be true as well, can be twin flames, all these kind of things, soulmate and so on, can be. It can be also a connection to yourself. It can be connection to something higher, harmony, unity, the source, the divinity, God, whatever. And actually, it's only up to you. But concretely, it's probably this notion, the fact that we have been separated since the Genesis, since the origin, once again as a metaphor, not necessarily to focus on the Bible text, and I don't want to enter in the dogma, I just want to enter in the notion of spirituality and more with a detachment of the institution, okay? So as a concept, concretely, because we can find it back in many other civilization, spirituality, and so on. So because this one is the most known. So literally, we have been separated from this unity, this Eden of Garden of Eden, and so on. So this unity, this absolute, this perfection in a certain extent, and we extract, and we are here, down to here, and we are missing this. The missing link Okay, I know it's due to the, let's say, evolution of humanity, but we can also consider the missing link like this. We have been disconnected. We have this disconnected, like you cut from your mother at the birth, and you are independent on your mother. Initially, you are inside, so you are completely. It's not you who is literally eating directly. It's your mom and so on. So this is this. We cut for you to exist and to experience reality, to marvel at life, and probably to find it back, this individual unity. That's why it's so important, the introspection that we saw, Delphi philosophy, know thyself and you will know the secret of the gods and the universe is the point. So introspection means know yourself, know what you are concretely beyond the mask, the personality as we saw. Also clean up the trauma, and then you will aspire to find your real true essence, which is your soul, eternal soul, which is a part, a fragment, it is an alveol from the cosmic breath. Because this is the point. Actually, our modernity, our modern society is trying to give us some substitutes like hyperconnection, social network, and so on. We have a thousand and thousand of different contacts that most of the time we don't know. It's like a collection. And if you have a problem in your life and you want to call someone or talk with someone, you maybe have 5 real friends, or maximum you can count on your fingers. But literally, it's a real symbol because this is the fruit of agitation. Most of us wants to be everywhere and on everything. It's a kind of omniscience, omnipresence, which is, let's say, subtly and unconsciously recreating artificially the presence, the notion, the divinity, to be everywhere. And to have a point of view on everywhere, to be where it is, the place to be, and so on, the moment, the event, and so on, to be recognized, and so on. Concretely, because it's literally showing one of the major need of Maslow, Maslow pyramid, who is a psychologist. He explained basic things that at the foundation, the main important needs are physiological, means eating, drinking, then safety, no war, shelter, and so on to avoid the danger. And the third one is, there is five, but the third one is belonging. Belonging to humankind, belonging to a race, belonging to a culture, belonging to civilization, belonging to an ethnic, belonging to I don't know, folklore, belonging to a religion, and so on. And because it makes you existing more deeply. But this notion of belonging to something higher, it's a kind of, it is artificial here because we want to be everywhere and at the same time nowhere. Because it's, you can analyze very simply. You can observe, you probably have among your network, and maybe you, for example, are influencer, or you share your life and so on Instagram and so on. You have an amazing meal, okay, very beautiful, you take picture and it's just marvelous. And instead of being in the present moment, enjoying this moment with your partner and so on, with your friends, and to enjoy the food because it's just delicious, this is the art of living. Instead of that, you are posting, and then you're not at all absorbed by the meal or eating or even the discussion and so on. You are literally absorbed by the number of likes that you have and the artificial connection to somewhere else. And actually, this is a bit concerning because you're detached from the reality, and in that case, you don't enjoy the real present moment, which is a gift. And it's not good about it, it's not a judgment, it's just the fact that you're not there. You're in automatic pilot. And actually, this is interesting also, this notion, you know, social media, this notion of like, concretely, it's come from Roma. So it means literally in the circus, alive and deaf. Okay, so this notion of judgment, to put your comments everywhere and so on, I'm not saying it's bad. It's just the fact that we are spending a lot of time, a lot of energy by the conflict and so on. And we are out, this is agitation, and we are out of the true self most of the time. I'm not saying that technology is bad, because social network, technology, for example, this video, internet and so on, is just amazing. But it's like a knife, it's double-edged. You can kill someone, you can cut or build something, cut to build a house or arts and craft and so on. So it's not this. It's just the fact that we are out, because everything is like bread and circus, okay? The notion of entertainment, the notion of social media, and so on, concretely, even the notion of frustration, because, you know, it's a tendency, and it's proved, psychologically speaking, the fact to see other lives like sanitized, just a picture, it's easy to smile and to be beautiful if we take it back, okay? Until we get the best one, and in parallel, oh, what the fuck? And then you imagine. So it's just an image, and actually that's why a lot of people feel frustrating, because they see the network, other people and so on, and they say they have an amazing life and mine is so shit. So they feel frustrated, and they say they feel guilty, they feel uncomfortable towards that, and so on. It's true for your network, it's true for star system, and so on. And actually, you know, when I was in Mexico, I stayed there a few months, 3 months, by the way, and I remember it was in 2003, and the people, they say to me, because some ethnies, they just, let's say they were isolated, and they went down from the mountains 90s, something like this. And they say, literally, they became poor when they arrived in the cities. What does it mean? It's the same principle when the Berlin's Wall collapsed, okay, the Soviet bloc. Actually, they opened up the doors, and they saw the, let's say, the condition they had compared to the Western world, okay? And before that, they thought they were living in a paradise. And so concretely, the notion of knowledge regarding this and the frustration and so on, it is emphasized through the social network, basically. So it's the same for, let's say, Hollywood and so on. You watch a movie and you think that everybody is waking up with makeup, always peaceful, super nice, and so on, don't smell from the mouth and so on in the morning. You see, the little thing, they don't go to toilet and so on. It's like a statue is fake, is an illusion. And we take this as an example of couple and so on, but what do we have in terms of reference regarding couple? We don't have. It's just something new for half century. Before it was arrangements most of the time. So we don't know exactly what is a couple, love, and so on. We even don't know if it will not evolve to something more detached in the future, with the notion maybe you have your home, I have my home, and we see each other 3 times a day and so on. I don't know, we don't know. And actually, because there is no miraculous recipe, there is only miraculous adaptation. It works for certain people. Certain people are like merger couples, some of them, they are detached and they're living well like this. Sometimes one is living 2 months to another country and so on. It's up to anybody. But what I'm trying to say, there is no standards, but a lot of frustration through that. You know, because our society mix up 2 things which are absolutely different. They pretend that, I mean, we also through marketing and so on, but concretely, progressively, we make the confusion between pleasure and happiness. Happiness is harmony, fulfillment, and so on. Pleasure, concretely, is like, you know, candy cotton, okay? So it's artificial. It's, you eat it and you feel full, okay, that's fine, but it's sugar, it's full of sugar, it's, okay, you fulfill your stomach, but you don't have any nutrients, okay? You don't have any, let's say, nutritional intakes, literally. So it's some wind. It's good for the taste, but it's only pure sugar, and artificial sugar, but very bad for health. It's poison. Anyway, it's good. And this is pleasure, okay? But 1 or 2 hours later, you need some more. You need something more. And actually, because pleasure is depending on the external world compared to the happiness which is inside. This is inward. So concretely, when you feel this peace, when you, it is, harmony is the definition of the fact that you're not, you don't want, I mean, you're not satisfied with, is not that to get, sorry, what you want, but to be satisfied with what you have. Okay, so this is the difference, and actually you can be completely happy with let's say modest life, and you feel connected, and that's enough. We can see a lot of neurotic star system. They have everything, the villas, the amazing stuff, and so on. They can have 10 villas, they can have 10 cars, they have the most beautiful boyfriend, girlfriend, and so on, drugs, whatever, and they don't feel. They feel incomplete, as we say with the quotes of from Elif Shafak. So the society is also give us a lot of substitutes like alcohol, drugs, the race to money, hyper affection, and so on. And this is a kind of anesthesia, okay, putting under a certain trend to avoid to think too much about ourselves, about our true self, our true life, introspection, and so on. And actually, this is interesting way, because drugs, alcohol, is a way to have altered consciousness, okay? To be out of your mind, literally. Okay, so when you are a little bit drunk, when you are a little bit stoned, you feel well. You're like in a cocoon. Okay, you feel good, and you feel connected more, depending if you are violent and so on. But usually, you feel you want to kiss everybody. You're happy and so on. Your problems, you perceive them differently and so on. So concretely, we can access to this dimension normally, naturally. We have all here inside. So, but what is interesting is to try to separate the illusion and the deep connection. So deep connection, there is a tradition here in Bali that I teach as well in the center, the orphanage I manage and I teach, because they forgot, some of them, not everybody, but traditional Balinese culture is like, unfortunately, in a lot of culture, with the homogenization of the society, they are losing more and more. So I retaught this philosophy that I'm gonna tell you, and then also this is the basis for teaching in the village and so on, for the sensibilization of ecology. Okay, so recycling and so on, to avoid that they throw it away, the plastic and so on. What is it concretely? This is a triptych. This is a trinity of connection. Deep connection with the mankind including you. It means that you know yourself, and you will know the universe, the secret of the universe and the God. So literally, you know yourself, you clean yourself, you are, you know the different phases of your personality and so on, as we saw. So you know yourself, you are peaceful within, okay, and then so you are connected, and then also connected and in peace with the world. That's to say, mankind. Okay, humanity from the past, from even the present moment, and even for the good, for the bad. Your friends, most of them, I imagine, they are not perfect. Nobody is perfect. It's not from this planet. Perfection is divinity. So, in a certain extent, you appreciate them as they are. Maybe there's some dark side sometimes. You forget about that. Okay, otherwise you have no friends, and even yourself. So, this is important to appreciate life as it is. And so this is this. Actually, you are connected to yourself and you are connected to mankind. This is the first axis. The second axis is to be connected to nature in general. To be connected, it means that literally you feel nature. We will have a special key for that, for nature, because it's really essential, our true nature. We have been completely disconnected from, artificially, from Mother Earth, who is our mother, we are part of it. So it's even not, let's say, outside. We are nature as well. So the fact we have been disconnected through urban dimension, cities with everything in cement, everything in the concrete and so on, we are completely out of this energy. Anyway, we will see this chapter later. So nature, and then the connection, so with mankind, yourself, and also with nature, and last, with invisible world. Invisible world means hereafter, ancestors, energies in general, because energy we will see in the next key concretely is invisible, so but it exists. It's a matter of fact. So it's a matter of fact if I can afford. And actually, this is interesting because actually, once you have that, you are at the center. But if you have that, then life is just magic. And the goal of this aspiration of reconnection is to feel, to fulfill, and to reach fulfillment, to reach compensate the fact you feel disconnected, the fact you feel incomplete, as we say, most of us we feel incomplete. It's like we have lost something and experiencing the need to find it back. This fulfillment is, I mean, the reconnection is a springboard to reach that and to compensate that and to reach the unity inside, the inner unity, the individual unity, bringing you to collective unity, collective awakening, and so on. So everything is entangled, everything is linked. That's why sometimes we say something here and in another key as well, because it's holistic vision. Everything is entangled, everything is interconnected in life, and this is like an ecosystem. Well, actually, this is what concretely Rumi say with this poem and this beautiful quote. He say, "You are not a drop in the ocean; you are the entire ocean within a drop." And actually, this is the ultimate state, which is feeling the cosmic breath, feeling life, the living through you, through people, through everything. And this is the force of the reconnection. And once you reach that, you are more sensitive, you are more, let's say, receptive. So you develop your senses, and especially how to see the sixth one. So you don't see necessarily, you perceive, you feel more than you think. And thereby, you're more receptive to synchronicity. Synchronicity, basically, what is it? It is causality, normally without origins. It means literally, this is kind of magic. You think about something and literally you have an answer from, I don't know, an advertising, a friend of yours, not connected. He talked about an article he saw and he's exactly responding to your question. Because this is like living body, okay? Is organic life, is organic life. The living is through everywhere, through everything, through everybody, and so on. So actually, this is linked. As long as you emit, we will see with energy. As long as you emit current of energy, like magnets, you attract as well. So this is the synchronicity. It doesn't mean that you stimulate them, because they exist. They are full of messages, subtle messages that, if we are not aware, we don't see them. So if we consider life is just you were born, you grow up, you consume, you enjoy life, and then you die, and this is stop, finish. Concretely is a little bit limitative, and for me it's a little bit a pity, because it's like playing only with the packaging, the envelope of the toy, and you don't play with the toy itself. And for me the toy is this, is the amazing life. This is magic. And once you reach that, actually, once again, it's not that you activate the synchronicity, you are receptive to the synchronicity. It means that you hear them. You know, there is a subtle music, subtle harmony. And concretely, that's why Victor Hugo, the French writer, say the following: it's a sad thing to consider that mankind, that nature talks, but the mankind remains deaf. So it's true for nature, it's true for everything, life in general, the living. So there is a lot of messages, and once you activate that, actually life is fun. Even a football game, even a down-to-earth job, fashion and so on, or computer and so on, you can decode, you can decoding so many information everywhere. You can retranscript a philosophy, esoteric vision through digital, through IT, through artificial intelligence, through, it can be a parallel with consciousness and so on, through everything. Even in textile, this, I can find a common thread in everything, and even the origin of the universe through it and so on. I find many analogy, many metaphors. So that is true for everything actually. Because concretely, once you reach this point, but once again, it's endless, you become enthusiastic. And I say already, enthusiasts in Greek, it means literally crossed by divinity. What does it mean? It means that literally you activate back your natural state of um, divine part. Doesn't mean that it's forever, it's always. Sometimes you can re-become human, even animal, even monster. It can happen, devil, sometimes, but literally is this. So your life literally change. Well, as a practice, I invite you to do this, to visualize like a diagnosis of your current situation that you estimate qualitatively, quantitatively on a scale between 0 to 10, how you feel connected, not artificially with social media and so on, of course not, but to this people, life in general, to this something which is really intangible, which is abstract, it's a matter of fact, but concretely to something transcendental. So, and then you will see in few months, in 1 year, if you evolve according to that, because it's a part of awakening. Connection is a springboard to awakening, is a springboard to let's say unity. So to find back the unity, our original state. So, second point, I invite you to try to meditate on the mindfulness, but not with closed eyes. Meditation literally means, medium means center, so get back to the center. It's an inner gazing, it's an inner work. Actually, you are receptive. You don't think, you feel, basically. So you focus individually by each sense. So, for example, during 1 hour or 1 day, you just focus on hearing. Okay, the birds, I don't know, water, and so on, my voice, and so on, and you just focus on that. Then you do the same for the 5 different senses. Then you can combine and do it with the 5 senses. The more you do that, the more you do this exercise, the more you will develop your 6 senses, which is the third eye, which is the fruit of intuition. The more you will develop your intuition, the more you will be connected to your unconsciousness. And your unconsciousness is a gate to reach the collective unconsciousness, the collective unthinking, okay, which is the cloud, the word idea of Plato, whatever we call it, akasha, morphic fields, and so on and so forth. So, but literally, you're gonna increase that, and actually, you will develop your sensitivity and your receptivity, and then you will feel more and more the world vibrating through you, and through you will feel the YOUniverse. Well, I invite you to meditate on these different elements, to actively, passively, intuitively take notes, eventually rephrase, synthesize, try to discuss with friends, to try to transmit them. Like this, you will visualize if you master, if you really understood or not. If you need to deepen, of course you will. But in general, if you want to extend your perception and your field of consciousness, share also, because like this, with the perception of someone else, you will combine, and maybe you will have more, you will enlarge the perspective of consciousness, the field of consciousness. So, because once again, this is an endless path, and also this is one key among other, because you will shape your master key, and actually it's only up to you to open up the doors of the consciousness in general and the eternal path of the awakening. Well, all the roads lead to Rome and to home. Thank you for your attention. See you later.